Welcome to this video. I'm gonna explain to you the morning top setup. It's a very nice setup specifically for Nasdaq and ES. So I do recommend you learning this setup. It's very nice. If you know what you're doing, if you know what you're looking for, it can be extremely profitable. So this is an example which I have personally traded. 8 risk reward. Okay, so this is after the trade was completed. This is during my entry. This is the receipts. This is pretty much how I took my first take profit. This is how much money I made. Now let's jump into the explanation. So it's gonna be short and brief. So overall, you want price to be, first of all, you want price to be at a very balanced range. So you want a range to be created, right? So this is the first thing which you want to be looking for. So this is the volume profile. We can see very nice range between 19,900 and 19 pretty much 700, 800. So if we look into the TPO chart, we can see one day is balanced, second day is balanced, we are rotating into the previous day value area, and then on the third day price attempts to break above the previous day value area and the previous 2 days overall. You try to break the profile, you try to break the balance during Asia and London with very low volume. Okay, and due to this inefficiency of the move, because it was backed up by pretty much nothing, this breakout of the volume area was on very low volume. So you do expect price to revert back down, right? Over here on the left side, this purple thing is single prints. So this is actually the first price area of the mean reversion of this deviation, to put it that way. Now what I'm looking for is when this is happening, is there a volume in the move, and are we at high time frame point of interest, right? So in this example we were at previous range point of control, right? So this is the first important thing, where we are. Okay, so in terms of context, you want to be asking 3 things. So for context, the 3 things which you need to be asking yourself, because you have 3 main pillars, right? When you trade, you do have context, you do have location, and you have confirmation. So context, how is the volume? What is the range? Who is in control? Who is trapped? Location, where is the setup? Are we at level of interest? Are we at the key level? And then the confirmation is pretty much the reason for clicking buy or sell button, and you know, is there a buyer is going to buy after me, is there a seller is going to sell after me? And if all 3 align, I know I'm taking a great setup. And pretty much you need to understand and you need to feel the context. The market needs to show interest at those prices, and I need to see other participants active at that price. So here I was quite confident that if we do start getting a sell-off, sellers are gonna start selling and buyers are gonna be trapped. So coming into this section over here, when you do have balanced markets, when you do have range balanced scenarios, what you need to be looking for is attempts to break that, but at time, space, and pretty much location which would trap people. So I know a lot of people were going long here expecting these higher prices. Also we do have the psychological 20,000, not only the point of control. So yes, it did make sense for this to be morning top reversal. So in a morning top reversal, you attempt to break out of value, of previous day value or multiple days of value. So in this case, previous day value and multiple days of value. So you do checkbox these things. Then how do you open? The way we opened was, you can see, let me just see. Okay, so this screenshot is taken right at the New York open, right? So 2:30 UTC. This is right at the time New York is opening. So at this time and space, you see you do have lows which are being unswept. You have lots of liquidity, lots of trailed stops. So keeping this in mind, if price comes back down into them, what's gonna happen? You're gonna start triggering stops, and every single stop which is being triggered by, in this case, longs. So if there is a long position and it does have a stop loss, it's gonna trigger as a sell. So it's gonna add to the sell pressure, right? So in this case, you can see what happened. You started triggering them and just price started cascading down lower. Why? Because you just started triggering these stops and they do come as market sells. this is after the setup. And pretty much this is one of the important rules which I want to mention. So when you do trade market profile, when you do trade balance ranges and unbalanced ranges, something very important, you can look into the 8th rule. If price reacts strongly to the point of control, that can disrupt rule number 1. So rule number 1 is if price is accepted into balance area, likely to have a full rotation. So coming back into this screenshot, you can see the value low of this range. Rejected. Once accepted, you do have a rotation to the point of control, but you do reject this point of control. So right now price came down to 19,530. It did come back to this. We did have a nice bounce to the upside, but right now price is still struggling. So this is the morning top setup. You can modify it in your own way. You can experiment with it. I'm not gonna give you the full edge because I have my own way of trading it, but there's lots of materials on YouTube you can look into, lots of blog posts about it, so you can look into them. I suggest you look into that, and I wish you a very nice day, and you take care of yourself. Bye.